All right, guys, this is not to show off, but this is just to show because I was asked a question, do I believe Medford knives are overpriced? And we're going to compare it to other made American knives in the same category. And you could probably look, if you know anything about prices, roughly all these knives cost the same, within $50 to $100 difference by different makers, different knife makers, different companies, and there's a reason. And if you were to tally it all up, if you really wanted to, they're all about within $50 range. So do I believe the Medford knife is overpriced? It is not. So let's start with the first one, Henderer. This is the Henderer Eclipse. It runs anywhere from $425 to $475, depending if you find it on sale or whoever you buy it from. What do we got here? We have a titanium scale, a very thin titanium scale underneath this G10, and S45V VN, and we're talking $425 to $475. But if you wanted a full titanium knife, when I say full, I mean scales, you can pick the other side up for $200. So where does that bring you? $425 to $475, add $200, you're back up to $600, $700. So you're about the same price as a Medford if you wanted this to be like a, not like a Medford, but two titanium sides. So do I think that just shows that this, to make this like this, you're gonna spend over $600. All right, this guy right here did not pay the retail price. I got this one on sale. I believe I paid $425, but the normal price of this knife is right around $600. It's a $600 Spartan Blades Hazy folder, excellent knife. I luckily got this one for $425, but I will show you that I did pay the regular retail price for this one, which was like $6 something. And then I also did it again for another custom version, $6 something, full titanium. This is the Magna Cut version, and I believe that's Magna Cut 2, where that's the 45 VN. So where are we at? $6 to make it just like that. These are $6. This one was a one on sale. So again, right around the same price range as this Medford knife. Let's talk Sabenza 31 and my Sabenza 21. $600 knives. The Sabenza 21 was $5 something. This one was $650 because it has that bead blasted scale, the inlays, full titanium. God, I think this is Magna Cut. I believe it's Magna Cut. I have to look on the box. Yeah, it's Magna Cut. But this is another high-end knife, but right around the same price range, $650. Old school, first generation Emerson. I get the date to pop up. This is a 2004. This was when nobody was really doing titanium blades. Emerson always had one side titanium, the other side stainless steel liner, but in this case, this was a special knife where it's just titanium on one side, G10 on the other, G10 backspacer. This knife was a $500 knife for its time back in the day in 2004, because not a lot of knives back then had titanium. So this was this one, if any of them were overpriced to today's time, this one would be the one that was mostly overpriced. But an awesome knife, great friggin' beautiful knife, great choil, excellent feeling. I'm a big fan of Emerson. I've always loved their knives. I think if you know me, you know I love Emerson's, but that's a $500 knife. Now let's get to this one. This is, I believe, $600, but this is a special run. This is the Fallout Edition 187. So we're talking $650 possibly. So here we go, another American-made knife in that $600 range. All of these would be $600 if you added a scale to that. If you added a scale to this might, I think you can usually find scales for this like $150 or something of that nature. They're not more expensive as like the Henderer. I don't know why Henderer wants top dollar. But okay, let's look at this now. Let's look at, this is where the phrase "you get what you pay for" comes in. So I'm trying to do this one-handed, but we're looking at thickness. Now, let's do this. Let's open it up and set it down like that. Let's open this up and set that down. So, do I think Medford knives are overpriced? I think Medford gives you what you're paying for versus some of these other companies. Look at the thickness in the scales. Then we can go into blade. Look at the blade size. It's way thicker. Look at the thickness compared to that. So obviously Medford is giving you a lot more material than most. Hender is right up there with them, but they're still a little bit shy compared to this blade. Now you're talking a thick spine, but this dramatically drops, but he grinds it off, so he's losing material, where Medford, it drops about 25, I'd say about maybe 50% of the blade, then it drops. Keep that up there. Let's compare it to one of the Spartans. So the Spartan is pretty thick, just like that. Pretty comparative. So, do I think Medford knives are overpriced? No, I don't. I don't think they're overpriced. I think they're right around the same price of all these American knives. They're within $50 range. There's other knives you can throw up here that are made in America. That is just what you pay for when you pay for American made. Now you can get Chinese made by this guy for $475, and you got good thick titanium, a G10, I think that's, no, it might be a titanium backspacer, full titanium, Chalvez, but this is, again, made in China. This is not a $400 knife. It's made in China. If you put it in the American market, it's a great price knife, but really, not really, because it's made in China. So it's made a hell of a lot cheaper. I bet you China probably made this knife under 50 bucks, sold it back to Chalvez. Chalvez brought it to America, put up a markup like these knives have markups, but they have markups for a reason. They're paying for employees, they're paying for insurance, they're paying for America, they're putting taxes back into America, they're supporting America, they're keeping America alive, where this knife came from China, and the only thing that was keeping it alive when it was imported was its imported tax. So this is kind of the, I've always looked at the, when he was made in America, that's cool, but I look at that skull now and I think it's the skull, the death of America, if you keep buying knives from China versus knives from America. But that's just a personal opinion. So then we move on to my other Medford knife. Now this thing is a beast compared to all these other knives. This blade is ridiculous. It's almost as big as two of the knives. What was this? This was about $100 more than that one. And you're getting a way hell of a bigger knife. The thickness is not as bad, but the blade is ridiculous bigger than all these. And this is the really awesome Medford knife. So, do I think Medfords are overpriced? Hell no. Compared to other American knives in its category, it's hell nowhere near overpriced. It's right in the price range of every other American good quality made knife. And I don't have any Striders up here because I stopped buying Striders and I got rid of all my Striders, and that was a personal opinion. I don't hate Strider. I don't like the way he does business, and that's just a personal thing. He's always short-handed the market. It's so hard to get his knives. You have to pay so much to get, and if you don't want me to buy your knife, then I'm not going to buy your knife. I will take my business elsewhere, and I've always had that about Strider. Back in the day, you could get his blades. Now it's an act of God, and I'm not, if you don't want me to have your business, then I won't give you my business. I will take my business to people who will sell me a product and make it available for me. So I stopped buying Striders a long time ago, but he's in the same category. If you get his knife at what he's supposed to be selling them for, everybody jacks up his knives because they're so hard to get. So I'm just like, forget it. I'll take my business elsewhere. It's not paying, but his original retail prices were just like these. They're right in the same category, but it's an act of God to get one of his knives. Now everybody's got a $200 markup if you want one of his knives, and then he does a lot of custom jobs, which I think, if you want to talk about an overpriced knife, his custom jobs are ridiculous. You're talking upwards of $1,000 to $2,000, when you can get a Spartan custom job for $600. All that detail, all that engraving. Do you like the style of the knife? Yes, it's a great knife. It's, you know. So these are just personal opinions, but do I think Spartan blade is over, I'm sorry, do I think Medfords are overpriced? Hell no. He's rating the same price point of all these other American-made knife companies, and it's right on. They're all within $50 to $100 if you sit down and do the math and look at what you get. And if you wanted to make this knife like these knives, you would be spending $200 more over that $425 just to give it the other titanium scale, and you're right back up at $600, as I said before. So Medford is not overpriced. He's right in the same price category as everybody else. I don't know why people keep saying that or asking me that. It's not overpriced. It's just like every other American good quality knife out there. They're all about the same price when you sit down and do the math and look at it. So there you go. Hopefully that answers that question. Take it easy. Have a good day.